What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip. And today I'm here to break down and talk to you about how to go out there and win more listings, how to go out there and win more buyers, how to go out there and win more overall clients in a highly competitive environment, a highly competitive overall landscape like we are in right now. Look, if you start breaking this down and looking at the data right now, if you compare the number of active listings, the number of overall closed transactions taking place on a month-over-month basis versus the number of licensed agents in our overall market right now, this is the most competitive real estate market that we've ever seen, at least that we have record of, right? And as far as I can tell, those different KPIs, the furthest data that I can get goes back to 1983 from NAR. Could go back further than from that. But anyway, regardless, we know it is the most competitive real estate landscape that we've seen since 1983 when we put these different things together. So then the question becomes, well, how do I ensure that I'm victorious? How do I ensure that I am the one that my clients, potential clients, are choosing? What can I do to ensure my business continues to grow, scale, and thrive from a client acquisition standpoint when the rest of the business might be contracting, when the average agent production is shrinking? Look, just because the market is contracting and shrinking doesn't mean your business needs to be contracting or shrinking either. Now, I'm going to get very strategic and very tactical today. We're going to go into a bunch of different steps. We're going to talk about niching. We're going to talk about USPs. Man, I'm going to make sure that you guys are freaking niche and sales experts by the end of this podcast here. But before I do that, I want to get into a little bit of the mindset portion of this, because if you don't have the mindset portion right, then the other shit doesn't open up. And what I mean by this is it's a couple mental philosophies that I recommend to operate by. Okay, number one is understanding there is no such thing as a good market or a bad market. The real estate market is always good for somebody. So we got to know that. We got to understand that there is no such thing as a good market or a bad market. The market's always good for somebody. It's our job as real estate professionals is to identify whom the current market is good for, pivot, shift, and adapt our marketing, prospecting, time, energy into whom that market is good for. Secondary mindset, mental philosophy, if you will, is to understand that success is always internal. It is never external. So never blame the market. It has nothing to do with the market. Like your business, if your business is down right now, it is not because of the market. It is not because of the agent saturation. It's not because of, the interest rates. Dude, it's because of you. Right? So, and I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that because when we allow ourselves to abide by those right mental philosophies, then that forces us to be proactive. Because when I'm blaming the market, if I'm like, oh man, interest rates, nobody's buying because of interest rates, so my business is just going to be down because of interest rates, that means that my business, I've given up my power. My business is then going to remain down until interest rates solve themselves. Well, what if they never go down to what we've seen? What if they, whatever, no, dude, I'm not, first of all, it's utter bullshit. It's just a cop-out bullshit excuse to, that victims go out there and utilize, right? Number two, it's just not true, right? And then number three, this forces us, when I understand that I determine and dictate my success, it forces me to be in a proactive mindset and a proactive planning approach of, okay, what do I need to do to go out there and turn my situation around? It's almost like being a great poker player. We got to operate by, here's the cards that I've been dealt. Whether you wanted the hand or not, here's the cards that we've been dealt. You and I can't control the market. You and I can't control interest rates. We can't control prices. We can't control if it's a recession or a depression or a booming economy. It's going to be what it's going to be. So here are the cards that we've been dealt. How do we best play these damn cards to go out there and be victorious? Because the reality is transactions are always taking place, always have, always will. People will always need help with real estate transactions, whether the market's up, down, sideways, anything in between. People are going to need help. So it's our job to go out there and adapt and pivot and shift with these. Okay, so then from there, how do I go out there and be victorious at getting buyer clients and getting them to go move forward with me? How do I go out there and get listing clients and get them to choose to go with me in a much more competitive landscape, again, that we are in right now? There's that many more people going after each listing, each expired, each FSBO, and so forth. So I'm going to break this down a few different ways for you. All right, so my first recommendation is to niche down. Look, we are in a market right now where we need to be good, and I'll go get in this one later. So we need to be focusing and mastering the fundamentals. We need to be good at what we do. But then from there, the more that we niche down, again, I'll pick that back up later. I was kind of getting out of my train of thought here with this. So I'll circle back to that one here in a moment. All right, so then let's first talk about niching down. Because it's like, look, when I start breaking down and identifying where that need is in the market, because there's always somebody that has a need. So it's okay, who's buying, who's selling, why are they buying, why are they selling, where are they going, where are they coming from? Like, who has that need, who has that desire in a market like this? Because it's not just the competitive landscape. We're also in the most unaffordable that real estate's ever been in recorded history in the United States. We're also in the most expensive time to be alive as a U.S. citizen because of all this freaking inflation and, monetary and fiscal policy and, powers that be just trying to, whether it's intentional or ignorance, but regardless, the result is the result where, it's just crushing the average person out there through their policy. So, dude, it's just a tough landscape, right? It's tough for people just to live and operate. So then from there, I'm going to assess everything that's taking place, everything that's going on. And I'm going to go out there and identify where those opportunities are potentially at. So let me give an example before I go into a few different niches today that are highly successful. Just because I want to get your wheels turning, because every market's different. And look, there's going to be a lot of these coming up in the future. So you want to be able to think about these things going forward in the future as well. Okay, so 2020 hits. Now I'm talking about 2020 after the initial lockdowns, after the freak out mode, when we saw that kind of post-COVID catapult where, prices started going gnarly, started getting, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 offers sometimes on every single property. Like, it just went crazy. Okay, well, one of my niches for a lot of my career have been move-up buyers. So all of a sudden, for the first time really in my career, we entered a market now where, okay, I had these clients that wanted to and needed to sell. So they had, home A that they want to sell. They want to go out there and buy home B. So this is a move-up buyer, right? Home A, the home they're living in, they got plenty of equity in this. They need to sell this to go move to home B, right? Well, now for the first time ever, at least in my career at that point, home B was like, screw you. I'm not going to take an offer contingent on home A, no matter how damn good that offer is, because, hey, I got 50 other offers that are as good, if not better. All of, half of them are cash. Like, it just became to a point where, okay, that niche clientele that I've been serving for like freaking 16 years up to that point are now essentially obsolete. So then again, now I'm looking for opportunity. I'm like, okay, what can we do? So then I went out there and found investor programs where, okay, I could find these investors to come and put an offer on home A, the home they're currently living on. If those terms were agreed upon for my seller, then from there, okay, my seller could go pick out home B, the home that they wanted. Now, home B, we couldn't write an offer on it with a contingent of that selling because the seller would have said no. So then, okay, I found investors that would then go buy home B for my clients, buy it for them, but the investors would pay cash for it so we could take it down right away. Once they took down that property, then my investors would close on the offer that they gave them on home A. So it'd free up the equity in the funds where then they could sell back home B to my client. So essentially, like, they just became that, kind of middleman instant buyer, in that situation. Investor made 7%. I made my commission. Buyers were able to sell and buy their home. It was a win for everybody. Everybody was ecstatic, right? These were clients that would not be able to participate in that market climate regardless, right? So then from there, though, because by thinking about how do we put these pieces together and find a solution, for my ideal client for that market, people that want to buy, that want to sell, but they're experiencing some type of resistance. Well, I found an out-of-the-box solution, that allowed them to do it, made it convenient, made it possible. This becomes a unique selling proposition that my competitors aren't doing, aren't offering, don't have. So then from there, it makes then those clients come to me and makes me potentially their only option. Right? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, when we're niching down, the more that we niche down, when we identify where is that need, who's wanting to buy, who's wanting to sell, what are their needs, what are their blocks, what's prohibiting them, and sitting there and identifying, okay, how can I go out there and serve and support them in this current market climate that we are in? So that is just an example, and I want to share those, and I'm going to share several other examples with you. And we're going to jump more into this market today right now, right? Because that one that I just shared with you, highly effective, still can be somewhat effective today in certain markets, but isn't something that we're doing a lot of like we were in 2020, 2021, even early 2022. Okay, so now today, All right, let's look about short sales and talk about short sales, right? Okay, so right now, you've got 84 million mortgages on single-family attached properties throughout the United States. You got about 12 million HELOCs. You got 2.8% of those right now that are in 30-plus days default. So there is a big need of people. There's almost 3 million people throughout the United States right now that need to sell their homes, need to sell it fast. Otherwise, their homes and their families are going to be foreclosed upon. They're going to lose that property, lose that equity. Now, some of these are going to have enough equity to go out there and do a traditional sell. Some of them aren't going to have enough equity and need to do a short sell. Either way, they need our help right now. Okay, so that is a niche where, dude, if you learn short sales and you learn NODs and distress sales, because, dude, they typically don't know that there are options out there to go out there and support them. So, okay, well, now I have a niche that we're going after. And dude, like, we had 3 of these come up last week in my business that weren't even solicited. Just 3 past clients that have bought over the last several years that were all in, behind in payment default situations for whatever scenario is. Now, these weren't even solicited ones with us playing offense to go out there and get. Now we're playing heavy offense on these to go out there and get them, but again, so it's something that is in demand, that is in need, but we don't have a lot of our competitors going after it. These are kind of those blue ocean strategies, right? So again, where's that need? Where's that desire? Now, okay, if I'm going after a FSBO or if I'm going after an expired, now I like those things too, but you got 100 other agents going after those. So then from there, you either have to have a different approach, you have to have a way higher skill set, or you got to do a lot more and be a lot more consistent, with those things to stand out from your competitors, because maybe I have 100 other people going after that same niche, that same property. Okay, with short sales and NODs, I have like none, right? Like there might be a few, where they're going, but it's very unsaturated. Again, people that have a need to sell, a desire, a need, a desperation, that need our help, need our services. It cracks me up, man. I got so many agents that I'm talking to right now. I'm like, dude, right now, like if you want to go list at least a listing a week or 2 listings a week or 3 listings a week, like it's essentially infinite, because this is continuing to grow. Right, is with what's going on right now with the economy and inflation going up and up and up for the next 5, well, at least 5, but probably more like 10 plus years, this stagflationary period of time. Like whatever you hear on the news, like quit listening to that shit, because it's all bullshit. Like whatever, when I say that, what I mean is when they're telling you they're trying to fight inflation, that is all bullshit. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. When you have increased massive balance sheets from the Federal Reserve and from the Treasury, when you have deficit spending at the magnitude that our government is deficit spending, when they're doing the geopolitical moves that they're doing right now, just all the reckless spending, monetization of debt, it's all highly inflationary, right? So, and then if we look at when you got savings just being wiped out completely, savings say over 3x what we were at pre-pandemic levels. So savings are being completely wiped out. Debt is going through the freaking roof for the average consumer. So these are very beginning stages. Massive opportunities right now, but very beginning stages. So the quicker you jump on this, the sooner. But I'll talk to agents all the time where I'm like, just realized from my video, I got a freaking hole in my shirt. My bad. For those of you watching this on video, you got to deal with my hole. But anyway, so when I talk to agents, I'll be like, dude, easy way to go out there and get at least a listing a week. Well, I don't know how to do short sales. Okay, well, dude, I can teach you in less than an hour how to go do a short sale and process a short sale. And then they come up with another excuse. And then I'm like, okay, if you got 1 listing a week and you got really good at processing these, so 1 a week, and if you got really good at processing these, worst case, that's 2 closings a month, 24 deals a year. Let's just say your average commission is 10 grand. That's 240 grand. And you're not willing to take an hour to learn these, but here's the cool thing about this is when it seems like we have all this competition out there, we really don't. Like in my market, there's 60,000 agents in my market. I'm the most saturated market per capita on the planet, at least that I'm aware of, here in Phoenix, Arizona. 60,000 agents just in my MLS alone. But then of those, it's like, okay, maybe there's like 10 or 12,000 that do more than 12 deals a year. Then there's maybe 1,000 actual that do, good big volume, or decent volume. It just whittles down. It's usually only like the top, 1 to 5% of this industry that are decently committed, to going out there and making this happen. So it's like, okay, if somebody isn't willing to invest, an hour or 2 of their time to go out there and learn a new skill set, to go out there and easily make 240 plus grand a year. Like that is not somebody that's your competition. That's somebody that's just going to be a dud in this industry. And there's an abundance of those duds, right? Okay. So that's an example of, niching down where you have very little competition. Then after there, okay, let's look at investors. So going after listings in a market like this, dude, I want as many investors or many listings as I possibly can. Yeah, I like buyers. I want buyers too. But when I get listings, that's open house opportunities, that's social media opportunities, that's, sign call opportunities. Those are other opportunities. But right now in this market this is the easiest market I have found in I want to almost say my career. The only reason I'm not saying that is because, it was very similar leading into the great financial crisis and during the great financial crisis to what it is right now in regards to, not with the market crash. What I'm speaking to is in regards to how easy it is to get listings. If you're niching down right now, if you're working an hour, depending on how many that you want. But dude, if you have intentional 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day of intentional time with reach out with the right niche, with the right people, with the right scripts, it's like a listing a week. It's easy to go out there and get that. There's no reason all of you on this call or on this podcast shouldn't be stacking listings right now when you're niching down with these. All right, so with these investors, man. So I'm looking at this with the investor landscape. Okay, we got commission compressions taking place for the first time in 20 plus years or so. I don't know exactly when the last one was. In every market, it's different market to market. But we're seeing cap rates diminish all over. And there's certain cities right now where it blows my mind too. I'll talk to agents and they'll be like, oh, dude, my rents aren't coming down in my market, but they have 12-month-old data. I'm like, dude, you're not paying attention to what's going on right now in your market. And you got to do some extra due diligence when it comes to rental data and apartment data, whatever. I was talking to somebody in Nashville the other day and they didn't realize the rental issue that there is taking place in Nashville. You have certain apartment buildings out there that are offering like 6 months free rent, just because they've way overbuilt and have so they're in a mess on the rental side. Yeah, right. And this is happening at like 57 of the top 100 metros right now are experiencing significant cap rate compressions in their market. All right. So with investors, we got two subcategories here. We got short-term vacation rentals, right? Domestic travel falling off a cliff. Yeah, it depends area to area, and you can go out there and do your own due diligence on this for what your market is. But most markets that I'm seeing right now are about 18% as far as a dip in occupancy rates compared to where they were at last year versus this time. So you have 18% of their cash flow is being lost. Right? So again, these are people that need to sell, that there's that desire out there, but it's niching down where you have very little competition. And then same thing with the buy and hold investors, right? So we have specific scripts that are highly effective, that boom, we're attacking these, going after these on. And here's the cool thing I love about the investors is when we have those conversations with those investors that are like, oh, no, I'm good to go. Property's performing great. No need to sell. Well, then it's very easy for me to transition and flip that into a buy side and then adopt them now as a buy-side investor client because I always want as many investor clients as I possibly can. One thing I learned a long time ago is if I get damn good at being able to service and be able to acquire traditional buyer and seller clients, and then I get damn good at being able to acquire and then service investor clients, and then I get damn good at being able to service and being able to acquire distressed property clients, then I can evolve into any given market. It doesn't matter. Because again, whether the market's up, down, sideways, in between, wherever it is, one of those is going to be stronger than the other. Sometimes it's strong for all of them. Right? So like right now, it's kind of one of those times, man. Like I got traditional clients that are still strong when we're niching way down. Then from there, we got investor clients and we got distressed clients. Like right now, it's kind of a combination of all of these. Okay, so let me go. So this was a conversation I was having with somebody today, one of our Perfect Storm clients that jumped on we do a weekly call with our Perfect Storm software clients. And they were asking me, a question about getting into assisted living, so then I was like, look, this is a perfect niche. Yeah, right. So, okay, they're in a community. Now, this was just me giving an idea of what to go out there and do. So this is an example, again, of a niche. So when you're niching down, you're becoming the choice for your clientele, right? So it may not mean that you don't have some competition, but you're going to have a lot less. The more that you niche down, the more that you become a specialist in this thing, it's always the generalists that have the most heavy competition, right? So then from there, so we're talking about assisted living. So then I was like, okay, make a list. So so the niche is helping people that are moving into assisted living. They need to sell their house and now they're moving into assisted living. So like this is like the last move of their life, right? So then, okay, then from there, let's map out the process of what you got to do A to Z, right? So we create convenience, we create a white glove service, all of this. So, okay, go out there and you can go out there and identify all the assisted living facilities in your market. So you know those, you understand those inside and out. So now you can consult and provide guidance. You know the pricing, you know the services. You get in with all of the staff, or you can go through the tours. And the reason why I had a little bit more knowledge on this niche is just because, long-term good friend of mine and coaching client of mine does this exact thing in this exact niche, totally different market though. So then I'm like, okay, so go out there, know those. So then boom, you're able to facilitate them to help them identify, because that's a stressor. Oh man, how do they and their families know what the right facility is for them? Okay, well, based on their budget, based on the things that are important to them, the type of care that they need, the type of facilities that are important to them, whatever that may be, okay, you become the expert on, so now the 20 facilities in your area, those inside and out. Now you can help them go tour and set those tours up, but those, and you can help them with that part of that process. Okay, then from there, like again, just map it out. What are all the things that need to happen? Okay, they got to identify the facility. Okay, well then from there, when it comes to the house, before they sell the house, okay, they're probably living in this house for a long time. They probably have a bunch of stuff in there. There's probably a portion of that stuff that they need to sell. Okay, you can align up a relationship with an estate sale company. Or, if you start growing this niche, go create your own estate sale company, and that can be another revenue maker for you. Okay, so there's going to be things in there that you need that they're going to need to sell. Okay, then there's going to be things in there that they're going to want to be boxed up to take with them to the new facility. Then there's going to be things in there that they need to have boxed up and maybe they want to have shipped out to family members or brought to storage. Okay, well, I can work with the moving companies and the packers that can facilitate all of that. Okay, we're helping to organize what's going to go with you to assisted living, what's going to go, okay, you want these to go to these kids over here, these to go to these kids over here, okay, these to go in this storage unit, okay, this is what we're going to bring to the estate sale and go out there and sell this and raise you some money from there, okay, what's the things that are left over that we need to trash out? Okay, I can set up the trash out company, facilitate that, okay, well, the house needs some repairs, needs this, okay, I can facilitate that with, the construction company or, the general contractors, and get the cleaners in there and get the, house declutter, get all, A to Z, helping them with the whole process. Now, with this, doesn't mean I'm doing this for free. No, I'm going to charge a premium for each of these, right? But it's a convenience. It is a convenient experience where you're making it easy, you're making it convenient, you're making it pleasant, you're reducing and removing a ton of that overwhelm, and you can guide them and their family members and those that are involved in this decision. And then guess what? The last part about that is when they need to move, they got to sell that property. And then, okay, for that whole experience, right? Like you can charge like a 10%, commission premium or whatever it is that you want to charge, like charge a premium, right? For that. But that is what I'm talking about, fully niching down. So then from there, when I'm fully niched down, like in a situation like that, now this isn't a niche I do. I'm just kind of just mind mapping with you guys here in the podcast, just to go through ideas with you, but then from there, okay, like how do I go market this? I wouldn't even market this as, oh, let me list your home. I would market this, as a way about learning of what the steps are and how to plan for this next transition of your life. And I wouldn't word it those exact ways, but that's what it would be around. It'd be like, okay, these different phases, these different steps. And then, like just selling a house is just a part of that. And you just become a part of that equation. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about niching down, right? So again, because you're either going to niche down, or you're going to deal in a very competitive generalized market, which is okay too. So now let's shift to there, right? So let's talk about, okay, if you don't want to niche down, you don't want to be highly specialized where you have little to no competition. Now that's my biggest recommendation to do that. But then there's going to be strategies and times out there where you're going to have, I have my areas of niche down, but then I have, I still go after FSBOs. I still go after, expires. I still go after certain things, then from there, what is the key there then? Okay, if it's highly competitive, you have to have a different type of a USP that you're offering, or you got to have a much higher skill set at being able to close those things, or you got to be more consistent and just better at doing those overall things. So if I'm going after FSBOs or expires and I got 100 other agents attacking them, okay, I got to have better phone skills. I can either be quicker, I can be more frequent. I can be better on the phone and better at presenting and better at all of those things. And hopefully it's a combination of all of those things, but we have definitely transitioned and shifted into a market. I was just talking with, a good buddy of mine, And we were just talking about agent training within, our brokerages and our teams and our organizations. And, I was telling him, I was like, dude, like, look, this isn't, a market to go fancy with, this isn't a time of going fancy into funnels. Okay, several years ago, okay, that was cool, and they were effective and they were a thing. But this isn't, not to say you can't do some funnels, right? But what pays off right now is mastering, leveling up your skill set. Right now is back to the fundamentals, back to the basics, back to niching down and mastering the fundamentals. Right? So it's okay, mastering that consistency, when I talk about mastering the fundamentals, okay, like how good are you on the phone? How is your tonality? Right? I mean, how's your confidence? How's your enthusiasm? How is your rapport building skills? Right? How are your objection handling skills? All of those things become extremely important in a market like this. Like the last decade plus was this real estate market and climate where you could kind of show up, kind of be consistent, kind of work, and you had deals fall in your lap. Those days are gone, at least for now. I don't know if we'll ever see those again. Now this is the best operators are going to win. So the best operators obsess over the fundamentals. The fundamentals are, okay, you got to have effective strategies in place. And then from there with fundamentals, so it's strategy, systems and processes, tracking, and then eventually people. Got to plug in, the right people at the right times if you're looking to continue to grow and scale. So it's about, you got to know the game, understand the game, master the game. Yeah, right? That's what we're developing process and systems around. But, it's like, okay, now it's like, living inside your CRM, consistency, that follow-up. And again, breaking all those down, how good you present at your listing presentations, your buyer consultations, how effective your follow-up is. Right now, again, it is just honing those skills that for the last decade plus, most didn't, I don't want to say they didn't need, but it wasn't a requirement to do okay in this business. It was a requirement if you wanted to freaking blow it up and do epic, but it wasn't a requirement if you wanted to do okay. Man, if you could go out there and make $100,000, $200,000 a year and not master really very few of the fundamentals. And we're seeing this all the time right now. I mean, I'm having so many reaching out to me right now for coaching, for, help right now. They're like, hey man, I was just so used to making a couple $100,000, $300,000 last several years. And shit, dude, now I'm just blindsided. I'm like, okay. Right. We start looking at this and, breaking down what they're doing, and they're just lacking the fundamentals, man. Systems, processes, strategy, tracking, people. Systems, processes, strategy, tracking, people, right? It's actually strategy first because the strategy determines and dictates the systems and processes, and then we got to track every element of the strategy in the game that we're playing, and then eventually plug in people. But we got to have a system and process that's dedicated for every step of the game, right? So every aspect of your lead gen, your lead follow-up, your appointment setting, appointment conductions, client process, like everything that you do more than once in your business needs to have a documented process. That's just the step-by-step actions that you do to get the result that you want. Those processes then live inside of a system. So your processes are the recipes, the system or the systems is the cookbook, right? So then this way, everything in your business done more than once, you know exactly what to do, how to do it, where to do it. Systems exist so you don't forget to do those. You can replicate the same exact experience over and over and over for each customer, and to get that same experience for yourself, it will instill the right habits, ensure the right things are done each and every time, for you personally, but then will allow you to be more efficient and effective. So increase your capacity. Well, then eventually when you want to start plugging in, need to start plugging in people, okay, those allow you to do those things. If you don't have these are the core fundamentals. If you don't have these things in place, like you are going to struggle and you're more than likely going to fail or burn out in this industry. It's just a given. I've seen it happen thousands of times, right? So it's back to mastering those basics, mastering those fundamentals. All right, so these, again, you guys are the key to really going out there and making sure that you're winning buyers, winning sellers, or hey, back to winning agents for those of you that are team leaders or broker owners. Same thing, like nothing here is different. Either niche down, right, or you just get a lot better and a lot more consistent about doing the fundamentals in this business, depending on how you're going after agents in your business. But it's all the same. Either recruiting buyers, sellers, agents or a leadership team to go out there and do those things for us. So anyway, I hope that this is helpful. Now, if you guys are looking for and needing help and support in growing your real estate businesses, if you're an agent, team leader, or broker owner looking to take your business to the next level, and you would like to my personal help, where I give you everything inside of my business. So I'm talking about all these processes and systems. I just give them to you. Yeah, right. I mean, you have access to my online university where I give you everything A to Z inside my whole business. So everything from business planning, mindset, goal setting, business planning, all the way through all your process systems, CRM setup, all the tracking systems, everything A to Z from lead gen, lead follow up, all the way through agent recruiting, hiring staff, everything A to Z inside there. I show you what to do, how to do it, step by step why to do it, and then I give you all the resources that you need to immediately plug in so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. This way I can take agents, team leaders, and broker owners and help them in 2 years do what took me over a decade to do. But then you also have daily access to me personally to support you and help you every step of the way. So if this is something that you're looking for, which is hands down, if you're looking for the most effective real estate business coaching program in the industry, where you again have daily access to me personally to support you every step of the way, and that's something that's like freaking less than the average cost of Starbucks on a daily basis, go to gsdmode.com, click on that coaching tab. You can schedule a one-on-one call with me. Can't sign up online. Got to schedule a call with me. I want to make sure that you are a fit for me and I am a fit for you. No hard sales. Everything I do is 0% pressure. With those, if it's for you, great, we'll move forward. If not, that's okay too. We can still be friends. But again, gsdmode.com/coaching. You can schedule 100% discovery call, zero pressure discovery call with me personally, right then and there at gsdmode.com/coaching. All right. Enough of that. You guys, well, I truly appreciate your support. Truly appreciate you being here, watching, listening. Keep crushing it. Keep kicking ass. I'll see you next time. Peace.